By this century, more than 200,000 people live here, making Amsterdam one of the largest cities on the continent. Trade, finance, art, and navigation shape almost every street. In this video, I use modern AI tools to bring historic paintings, engravings, and prints to life, letting us shift perspective, change camera angles, and even move through scenes in ways their original artists never imagined. We see Amsterdam not as a frozen picture, but as a living city full of noise, movement, and fragile balance. By the early 1700s, Dam Square was the true center of Amsterdam, and this view shows a bustling foreground of carts, market stalls. But crowds always carry danger. Pickpockets slipping through gaps, fire threatening wooden roofs, and tense gatherings whenever politics turn uncertain. The town hall mattered because it represented law, wealth, and urban power, drawing visitors from across Europe. Over time, ceremonies, protests, and royal visits reshaped its meaning, and by the early 1800s, it became a royal residence. And this view shows masts rising like a forest in the foreground, while warehouses lean toward the canal in the distance. The life here smells of tar, fish, and sea salt. Sailors shout in Portuguese, Dutch, English, and German. Cargo barrels roll from decks to docks. But harbors were risky places. A spark could destroy a ship. Storms could strand cargo for months. And rival merchants fought fiercely as Dutch dominance began slipping after 1750. Damrak mattered because it was Amsterdam's lifeline to the wider world. Later, shipping shifted elsewhere, and this district became more about people than freight. Today, tourists walk where ships once floated. By the early 18th century, the VOC shipyards, part of the powerful Dutch East India Company founded in 1602, formed one of Europe's largest industrial landscapes. The air is thick with sawdust, smoke, and hot tar, and every sound echoes across the waterfront. Today, redeveloped neighborhoods sit where great ocean ships once took shape. Daily life here feels quieter. Servants carry baskets inside. Wealthy families host dinners, and polished windows reflect the water. Today, walking this canal feels surprisingly close to what an 18th century visitor would have seen. And this view shows narrow lanes packed with workshops, laundry hanging between windows, and children chasing each other along canal edges. The air smells of bread, fish, and smoke. Vendors call out prices while craftsmen hammer and sew. Life here was harder than on the Grand Canals. Crowded rooms, shared wells, and frequent illness shaped daily experience, especially during harsh winters when canals froze. Later, deterioration led to major renovations, transforming streets while preserving character. Today, cafes and studios occupy spaces where families once squeezed together. And this view shows sailors, merchants, and locals fill in the maze of lanes around it. Over time, reforms and development changed the surrounding streets, yet the church stayed rooted. Today, visitors still walk across gravestones worn nearly smooth. By the 18th century, the Amstel River offered a quiet, scenic entry into Amsterdam, and this view shows the Magerbrug arching lightly over calm water, while boats drift beneath with peat, vegetables, and passengers. Families stand on the banks watching the current, hearing soft water against wooden hulls. But nature always posed danger. Floods, broken dikes, and sudden storms could threaten entire neighborhoods. Later, bridges were rebuilt and upgraded to support growing traffic. By the 1700s, the Tower of the Westerkerk defined the western skyline, and this view shows barges sliding along the Prinsengracht, while the church rises in the distance. The Westerkerk mattered as a spiritual and visual symbol, consecrated in 1631 and deeply woven into local identity. Later reforms reshaped surrounding housing, but the tower never lost its place. And this view shows quiet gardens surrounded by modest houses, as women move gently between doors and chapel entrances. Life here revolved around prayer, charity, and orderly routines. Yet even in this calm place, political changes and religious pressure occasionally threatened independence. Over time, residents' roles evolved, but the courtyard survived. Today, stepping inside feels like walking into a preserved pocket of the past. By the 18th century, the countryside outside Amsterdam was shaped by engineering, and this view shows enormous windmills turning over fields and drainage canals stretching to the horizon. Farmers tend crops, millers grind grain, and engineers carefully manage water levels. Without these machines, much of this land would vanish underwater. But storms, broken gears, and rising water levels could cause disaster. The windmills matter because they powered survival, supporting food production, sawmills, and shipbuilding. Later, steam and electrical systems replaced many of them. Today, preserved windmills stand as reminders of how the Dutch built land out of water. Amsterdam in the 1700s was both powerful and fragile, wealthy from global trade, yet constantly threatened by war, water, disease, and economic change. When AI brings these scenes to life, the past suddenly feels close. We can glide across canals, walk into markets, and stand beside people who lived 3 centuries ago, balancing risk and opportunity just as cities do today. If there's another city, moment, or historical scene you'd like to see reconstructed, let me know in the comments. Again, thank you so much.